if you have a resume, which let's face it, you do, or you should, then you need to watch this week's mini training because I am going to teach you the three most common mistakes that people make in their resumes that I saw over my 15 years in recruitment and that I see now as a certified professional resume writer and career coach. So stay tuned. So in my 15 years of recruitment, I screened, no joke, more than 100,000 resumes and LinkedIn profiles. And I said no to 95% of them. That's right, 95%. The crazy thing is a lot of times I would see mistakes made that didn't have to be made. I want you to grab your resume so that we can fix these three most common mistakes right now, today, so you can start getting more interviews. Common mistake number one, your resume is too generalized. Now, I understand you don't want to close any doors. You don't want to spend hours customizing a resume to each and every job. You don't know exactly what it is you want. So it's just best to have a resume that keeps your options open. The problem, though, is for me, the reader as a recruiter. If I am filling a specific job, a generalized person just doesn't cut it. I need to picture you doing the job, and a generalized resume just doesn't do it. It shows someone who can do a lot of different things, but not one thing specifically. So the fix to this is getting clear on exactly what it is you want, then figuring out exactly what those types of jobs want, and then creating a foundational resume that excites those people. You're going to hear those steps over and over again from me. Those are my 3 steps to making a foundational resume. Now, what that does is it removes the whole, I don't want to have to spend hours customizing a resume, because once we have this foundational resume, that is a match, keyword, responsibility, phrases, you and your personality. What that takes away is that need to spend too much time customizing, because then it's just a 5 to 10 minute tweak to see, am I using the same keywords or is there anything I need to change? And then you can send it on its way. And then what happens to me as a recruiter is I get excited because I am seeing you and I'm seeing you in this job, which has me picking up the phone to give you a call. The other second most common mistake I saw is too choppy. Now, we've all been there. I am definitely guilty of this one, where it's time to look for a new job, or you see a posting that it's pretty interesting. So you pull up your old resume and you just like tack in a new area to describe your new job or the job you're currently in. You don't really touch anything else. So here is the problem. We have a document that doesn't tell a story. It is not cohesive. Bits and pieces just don't make sense with each other. What the recruiter is feeling when they are reading that resume is all over the place, unsettled, confused, not emotions that lead to them wanting to pick up a phone or send you an email to schedule an interview. So what we want to do instead is start from scratch. I know, or to at least, if we don't have time for that, which is fine. If you don't have time for that, then you need to take a look at your old jobs and think, how can I pare some of this down? How can I remove some of these bullet points? And how can I restate things in a way that makes sense for who I am right now and what I want next? Because again, we want to know what you want. We want to know what those jobs you want. And we want to craft a document that gets them excited to meet with you. If this is too difficult, then you may want to hire a resume writer like myself, or take my training to walk you through it in the Career You Love Academy. The third most common mistake that I saw is poor formatting. This is also a red flag. The other ones are also some red flags. I'm going to share a link to an article that I wrote, the 6 most common red flags that like pop up. And I'm like, no, as a recruiter, and I ignore so that you can take those and then these and then create the most amazing document ever. So the poor formatting. I see a few different things. Number one, to continue on with the choppiness, is if you are using a newer version of Word or Google Docs, and you're taking a resume that was written in an older version, and then the formatting just isn't quite right. Maybe the company names are in a different spot. Maybe it's different bullet points. Maybe the tabbing is a little off. Maybe we've bolded something in one section and we haven't bolded in another. Inconsistent formatting. It reads just like that choppiness, confusing, like this was just slapped together, that this person doesn't really care or is that interested. This was kind of like a pot of spaghetti application. I'm not interviewing a pot of spaghetti application. The other type of formatting that I see is people who have seen the Canva or the Pinterest or all of those like beautiful infographic style resumes. And like from an aesthetics piece, they are gorgeous. However, there's a couple of problems with them. Number one, we have the applicant tracking system, which is not designed to read them. Number two, we have the problem with the fact that it is very high level. And so a lot of detail is then missed that is needed to see you in the job. So a clean, no tables, old fashioned with some pops of color, maybe using some borders, maybe using some shading, to have a resume that is aesthetically pleasing, but still gives the information the recruiter needs and is formatted in a way the applicant tracking system can read. So to recap, the 3 most common resume mistakes: too generalized, too choppy, and poor formatting. Now, in the Career You Love Academy, I have an extensive training with my own resume templates that work every time. You can get this as part of the Career You Love Academy, and you go through and you create a resume that wows. And then bonus is I review them. I give you my feedback, I make changes, I rewrite things. Your resume, your cover letter, and your LinkedIn profile. And there's separate trainings for each of those documents. It is a no-brainer for you to come and join for $100 and have this done, because just a resume review with me is multiple hundreds of dollars. So it is no brainer. You can find the link to join us below, and I will see you next week. Take care.